sides of a story. Both sides of a story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session, hour 106.
Speak the truth and speak it ever, cost it what it will. He who hides the wrong he did does the wrong thing still. The heights my great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards through the night. When you have work to do it with a will. If you want to reach the top, you must climb the hill. Labor for learning before you grow old. Learning is better than silver and gold. Silver and gold will vanish away, but a good education will never decay.
Ladies and gentlemen, notice the captain has turned on the no smoking sign. Please be seated and fasten your seatbelts. We're approaching home. This is flight number 77. Thanks for flying on Solomonic. Hope you enjoyed your flight home.
Ting-a-ling-a-ling, school bell ring and it's back to school again. And it's ABC, 1, 2, 3, tic-tac-toe and it's all in a row. Now it's a 1, 2, buckle my shoe, 3, 4, shut the door, 5, 6, pick up sticks, 7, 8, and then you lay them straight. 9, 10, back to school again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I caught that bird alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it flew away again. We will keep a ride for the town, up and downstairs, in and out down. Rocking out the window, spying through the lock. All the children in there say 8 o'clock. Surround, free paper, burn, and it's back to school again. You've got to start at ABC to be at the university. Here's a message on the radio. Now go to school and learn the rules. And don't you feel fool. Don't be down, don't be no bum. Don't just hang out and bum. Don't you waste your spare time and just sit there thinking about break time. With nothing to do but play all a live long day. Fly by the fire, you can make it if you try. Don't waste your time away. Now it's dickory, dog. Ben ran out the clock. The clock struck 9, now it's bedtime. All is school again. Children, enjoy your holiday all you can. Now, fully enjoy sitting on the wall. Long live Jesus. Ding-a-ling-a-ling, school bell ring and it's back to school again. Meena, mine, mo. Here's a lesson on your radio. Heights of the great ones reaching the gap where the day flies sunfly. But the DY come back and slide. We're up one going through the night with English, grammar, and arithmetic, geography, and history. Though you don't know about politics, you gotta know some social study. As busy as a bee, as cunning as a fox, as carry as a law. Remember to do your homework and don't do it in the bar. Having popcorn, Lucy, and soda pop, they're gonna put you at the top. You've got to work hard to reach your goal, and don't you ever stop. No got that sense, so you don't make sense. You want to play balls. Just keep it class, it's gonna make you pass, and you're sure gonna be in trouble. 2 1 2. are 4. 2 3s are 6. 2 4s are 8. 2 5s are 10. It's back to school again. Ding-a-ling-a-ling, school bell ringing, it's back to school again. So much for play and holiday. Now you just do what your teacher say. Gotta read and write and check it down. For you to be a star, to be able to have a bank account to buy mom and dad a big Porsche car. The king is in his counting and he's counting out his money. The children are in the garden and they're eating bread and honey. Old man had a farm and it's E-I-E-I-O. And if he was stubborn as his mule, he wouldn't send his kids to school. So make hay while the sunshine, take something for a rainy day. Pick up your bag with your book and there's a lesson on the radio.
It's the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the 5th day of the 9th month of 2023. Put another way, it's the 5th day of the 4th month of the 2023 North Atlantic hurricane season. It's the anniversary of Chachapoyas in Peru. The month of September itself is being observed as Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, National Senior Citizens Month, Employers Month, Alopecia Awareness Month. Alopecia refers to partial or complete hair loss, baldness. September is also Travel Agents Month and Cheese Month. Hoy es martes, el 5 de septiembre 2023, y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa, Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est mardi le 5 septembre 2023 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être votre service pour une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story. Le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme allant de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 10h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue.
And he's counting out his money. Children are in the garden, and they're eating bread and honey. Old MacDonald had a farm, and it's E-I-E-I-O. And its E was common, as his mule he would send his kids to school. So make
All we're saying is it's Tuesday, the 5th of September, 2023, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices, and that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to both sides of the story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
school bell ring and it's back to school again. And it's ABC, 1, 2, 3, tic-tac-toe and it's all in a row. Now it's a 1, 2, buckle my shoe, 3, 4, shut the door, 5, 6, pick up sticks, 7, 8, and then you lay them straight. 9, 10, back to school again. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15. Supreme Real Estate, licensed real estate dealers, the experts in residential, commercial, industrial, hotels, and villa sales, rentals, and leases. Supreme Real Estate, Main Street, Salem, Runaway Base, and Han. Call 876-973-5026 or 876-973-6142 and email supremerealestate@cwjamaica.com.
And learn the rules, and don't you be no fool. Don't be dumb, don't be no bum. Just hang out and pop bottle gum. Don't you waste your spare time and just sit there thinking about great time. With nothing to do but play all a live long day. Fly butterfly, you can make it if you try. Don't waste your time away. Now it's dickory dog. Ben ran out the clock. The clock struck 9, now it's bedtime. Tomorrow is school again. Children, enjoy your holidays all together now. 2 little birdies sitting on the wall. One big beer. Ting-a-ling-a-ling, school bell ring and it's back to school again. In a minute, here's a lesson on your radio. Heights of great ones reach and get well entertained by sunshine. But the white hair companion slept. We're up one morning through the night.
Thank you so much for making it both sides of the story for today, Tuesday, the 5th of September, 2023. And we greet you well wherever in the world you are listening to us here on Power 106. Hello to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Morant Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you've downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We acknowledge those of you who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. Those in the U.S. who wish to dial a number from the United States, 631-359-8281. 631-359-8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330-606-0953. 0330-606-0953. What's on your mind this afternoon? We're taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5, 876 922 4112 to 5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call on WhatsApp as well. 876 365 3366 876 365 336 876 365 4366. Those numbers sometimes. Let's see. Right. We see you, Jeannie Chambers. Good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for joining us. Good afternoon to Steve McDonald as well, who is not only present on Facebook Live, but he's also on our WhatsApp line, which is the same as the text line, 876-365-3346. Good afternoon, Steve.
Mr. Manda, how are you doing today?
I am fine, thanks. How are you?
Not bad, but a bit disturbed, if I may call it that. Reason being, I see where one of our Manning's alumnus was killed in brutally in Westmoreland, Little London, Westmoreland, and small business owner just doing her thing, trying to eke out a decent living. And she was murdered at her establishment yesterday. And I think, I just think that it hardly made the news if I don't believe it was because it made the news because they well, let me not speculate, but they what is happening, it's just depressing where we're at right now. And I think, and what even more depressing for me is the lack of response from the government in terms of what needs to be done, and in terms of curbing this type of violence. And what I mean by that is, yes, I know that.
Hello? Steve's line seems to. Sorry, Steve. We've missed a few seconds of what you've been saying.
Yes, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I was saying that I know that there's some violence, like domestic violence, that is going to be difficult to curb. But violence like these, where people are being robbed, and there are extortions and different stuff like that is happening. Scamming, violence relating to scamming. All of this can be easily traced. And what I mean by that is that a lot of these guys are flaunting their wealth. And I think it was Robert Montague a few years ago when he was Minister of National Security, wanted to introduce the unexplained wealth legislation, which would be, and he coined it to take the wealth out of crime, and which I think would have a significant impact in reducing or drying up that oxygen, which is the money that these guys are having out there to continue to participate and to continue their crime or criminal spree. But I think what is happening, the government has been deliberately putting their foot on this because of the economic benefit, in my mind, that comes from the scamming money and everything that is happening there. And we're just losing too many people because all of these scamming money, it goes back into a shop somewhere. They buy cars, so the money flows right back up to the top. It provides income to the bottom layer, which the government has been very slow or have not been able to provide a lot of economic growth in that area. And so this money is going right to the bottom layer of the economy. It goes back into bars, it goes back into a lot of different things, shops and so. So it provides a significant economic base. I read somewhere ago that I think it was a PIOJ report that said 60% of the formal economy, economic growth comes from funding from the underground economy. Mr. Harris, Dr. Harris Chan said some time ago that up to $1 billion of criminal money come into the country. And because of that, things like the honest plain wealth legislation, which would help to remove the funding from these criminals, is not, the government is dragging its feet and people are dying. Now this lady is just, if it's not for the grace of God, it could have been me. It could have been my sister. She's just trying to do a small business down there in Westmoreland. And this is how she, and even from, look how many of that happens across the country. It doesn't make the news. Nothing is said. MSME Alliance, they don't even put out a report on it. PSOJ don't put out a report on it. Also, churches don't put out a report on it. Nobody condemns it. It's not considered horrific in terms of our criminality. So we've now become desensitized to a lot of these things. And it's just, sorry, Dervan. That's what's on my mind. Thank you for allowing me to share it. And I do hope that things will change. I really do hope, though, that the government, like how it was dealt with in Westmoreland, and how the people of Little London had to deal with it, with the criminals who came in and killed the woman. I really do hope that is not what the government is expecting, in that we have to take justice in our own hands, because that would be further chaos. But honestly, if that's the way we have to go to deal with this, then I'm going to be like Sam Sharp. I'm going to be out there on the front line. Because even tired right now, it's just too much. Thank you again, Dervan, for giving me this moment.
Thanks for sharing the circumstances notwithstanding. All the best. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. A couple of links sent to us by Franklin McDonald. Couple of fascinating ones. International Symposium on the History and Legacy of the Muslims in the Caribbean. And the other one is headlined, The Time Marcus Garvey and Norman Manley Came to Blows. Well, almost. That's another one worth reading. But for the time being, let's clear the other messages. Rohan Johnson of Atlas Ocho Rios says, big up to all the students attending the Exchange All-Age School, located in Exchange for the first time, especially to my daughter, Talia Johnson, coming from Rohan Johnson, Atlas Ocho Rios, clocking in, says Rohan Johnson. Cuban in Georgia says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. I, along with Futahai Bujubantan, are calling on the administration to not spend taxpayers' money to pay for a private investment firm and let the firms pay back the money that was stolen from Usain Bolt and not at the expense of we, the taxpayers of Jamaica. I agree with Steve. Murders have become normalized by this administration, and the police commissioner and the national security minister have become dormant in executing their duties and government officials. Some of the other messages now. To you, that. We'll come back to that another time. Let's move on to the next message. Calvin in North York, Ontario, Canada. Good afternoon. Hello to the members of the WhatsApp group, Rachel's Family and Friends, as they continue to pay tribute to one of our regular listeners from the days of Leng and Company, Rachel Graham. And so this WhatsApp group is Rachel's Family and Friends. We wish them well. We wish them well. And they're sharing some of her paintings, some of her craft work, etc. And that they perhaps could set up a museum based on the material that they have. Garfield Gary G. McCook says, my brother, good morning. Okay, we maybe could share the info. Let's see. We might have to finish this one off air because let's see the essence of it. Okay. All right, we got your message, Garfield McCook, otherwise known as Gary G. We got your message. So we'll talk to you off air. Thanks for connecting.
You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now
2:30. Advertise in the Children's Zone, the publication that makes learning fun and impactful. With over 1 million readers monthly, the Children's Zone brings you unparalleled reach. Contact your Gleaner sales representative or call 876-932-6020 and ask about the special advertising packages now available for a limited time only. Access on-tap opportunities in the Children's Zone. 1, 2, 3, tight go and it's all in a row. Now it's a 1, 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, shut the door. 5, 6, pick up sticks. 7, 8, and then you lay them straight. 9, 10, back to school again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I caught that bird alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It flew away again. We will winkle right through the town. Upstairs and downstairs in and right now. Knocking at the windows, crying through the lock. All your children in bed is 8 o'clock. So run, free paper burn, and it's back to school again. You've got to start at ABC to be at the university.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Faye Weller, good afternoon to you too. Sophia Nemard in Newell, St. Elizabeth, good afternoon. Sherry Henry, thank you very much for your kind words and all the very best. And over on YouTube, Natalie Winter says, hey, Dervan, big up from wet weather, Washington Gardens, Kingston, Jamaica. Sending lots of love and hugs. Catch up with you later. Take care. And you do likewise, Natalie Winter. Thanks for keeping in touch with us. All the very best. Continuing now with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And there's another tropical depression that has formed in the Atlantic, and that is projected to become powerful Hurricane Lee. Powerful Hurricane Lee. And the report tells us Tropical Depression 13 has formed in the Atlantic and could become powerful hurricane this week. Another major hurricane could be on the horizon as Tropical Depression 13 took shape in the central tropical Atlantic Ocean late Tuesday morning. The National Hurricane Center said Tropical Depression 13 officially formed over the central tropical Atlantic, about 900 miles west-southwest of Cape Verde. The storm had maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour with higher gusts. So make a note of that. Tropical Depression 13. And there's a tracker as well, which when you get the opportunity, you could check it out and take a closer look at it. Tropical Depression 13. You can Google Tropical Depression 13 and you'll see the information. But in the meantime, just continue to do the right thing. Let's continue to do what we know is right, especially at this time of year and in this season. How about that? Continuing with more on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, and taking your calls, 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Let's share with you some nuggets of history right now. Born on this day in 1638, Louis XIV, otherwise known as the Sun King of France, who built the Palace of Versailles. Some people refer to it as Versailles. Like in Jamaica, that hotel, Hotel Versailles, it's actually Versailles, Versailles. The two L's combine to give you a Y sound, and the S at the end is not pronounced. Versailles. After days of negotiation, the Dutch settlement of New Amsterdam surrenders to the British, who renamed it New York. So what is now known as New York used to be called New Amsterdam. In 1666, firefighters in London began blowing up homes in a desperate attempt to halt the spread of a great fire through the city. All other attempts to stop the progress of the flames over the previous 3 days had failed. By the time the fire was finally snuffed out the following day, more than 100,000 people had been left homeless. Finally, on September 5, weakening winds allowed the fire to be contained, although it was not fully brought under control until the morning of Thursday, September 6th. Remarkably, although a good portion of the city had been devastated, only 8 people lost their lives in the blaze. The following week, a royal proclamation mandated that any rebuilding of the city be done with brick and stone, and that any land that was not rebuilt within 3 years of the fire would be seized by the government. The first major set of building codes was established, and a special court was charged with the resolution of all disputes involving the fire. Possibly because of these new regulations, London did not replace all the homes lost in the blaze until nearly 30 years had passed. Other reforms that came out of the Great Fire were the advent of fire insurance and the formation of dedicated firefighting squads. Can you imagine a world now without that? Well, they were operating without fire insurance and without the formation of any group of firefighters. What a thing. So that was 1666. In 1698, Russia's Peter the Great imposed a tax on beards. So if you were sporting a beard, you would be taxed by Russia's Peter the Great. The first session of the US Continental Congress convened in Philadelphia. The delegates drafted a declaration of rights and grievances, organized the Continental Association, and elected Peyton Randolph as the first president of the Continental Congress. On this day in 1836, Sam Houston was elected as president of the Republic of Texas, which earned from Mexico in a successful military, it's earned its independence from Mexico in a successful military rebellion. From the days of the 13 British American colonies ruled by the British Crown, Jamaica has been trading with her North American counterpart. In fact, in the 18th century, there was a lot of migratory movement of Jamaican settlers heading northward to the larger, more promising lands. These links were strengthened. The founding of the international banana industry in Port Antonio, Portland, in 1868. Jamaicans were also and still are among those who have helped to develop America. Among them were two Jamaican families who helped in the establishment of Dallas and Waco in Texas. Dallas is named after a Kingston family whose members migrated to the United States of America and prospered. In 1750, at the height of the sugar boom in Jamaica, a Scots physician, Dr. Robert Dallas, migrated to Jamaica to seek his fortune. He established himself and in fact later bought an estate named Boer Castle in 1758 in the nearby hills. He renamed it Dallas Castle, the first time that name was being associated with any place in this hemisphere. Sometimes you feel that you're depriving the listeners of a bit of the history when you do that kind of editing. But anyway, we're trying our best to give you as much of it as we can. So Dr. Robert Dallas migrated to Jamaica to seek his fortune. He established himself in Kingston and later bought an estate named Boer Castle in 1758 in the nearby hills. He renamed it Dallas Castle, which was the first time that the name was being given to a location in the New World. He established a substantial operation based on sugar and later coffee. In fact, this area is today among the main production zones of the famous Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee, and the buildings and structures of the Dallas family are still partially used for this operation. Dr. Dallas had 3 sons in Jamaica, with the youngest, Alexander, being born at Dallas Castle. In 1776, Alexander Dallas migrated to the USA and became active in public affairs. From 1814 to 1816, he was Secretary of the Treasury of the Young Republic, the second West Indian to hold this post, the first being Alexander Hamilton of St. Kitts Nevis. This Alexander Hamilton was arguably the most important figure in American history who never attained the presidency, but he had a far more lasting impact than many who did. Alexander Hamilton was an illegitimate, largely self-taught orphan from St. Kitts Nevis who rose with stunning speed to become George Washington's aide de camp. It's a French term, which essentially means someone's a high official's assistant, the assistant of a high official, aide de camp. Aide, A-I-D-E, help, de, of, camp. One moment, please.
Now it's a 1, 2, buckle my shoe, 3, 4, shut the door, 5, 6, pick up sticks, 7, 8, and then you lay them straight, 9, 10.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session, Power 106.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
With over 40 years of record service, Lock Safe and Vault Limited is your trusted security provider. Get affordable prices on a wide variety of seals, garage doors, access control supplies, magnetic lock, fingerprint, weatherproof keypads, card access system, time attendance, power supplies, and exit buttons. Professional services provided. Visit 40 Shortwood Road, Kingston 8. Problem solved with Lock Safe and Vault.
7, 8, and then you lay them straight. 9, 10, back to school again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I caught that bird alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It flew away again. We will winkle right through the town, upstairs and downstairs, in and out now. Rocking at the window, spying through the lock.
Right. So back to Alexander Hamilton. He was a battlefield hero, a member of the Constitutional Convention, the leading author of the Federalist Papers and head of the Federalist Party. As the first Treasury Secretary, he forged America's tax and budget systems, Customs Service, Coast Guard, and Central Bank. So Alexander Hamilton was the first Treasury Secretary of the United States of America. The second was Jamaica's Alexander Dallas. Alexander's son, George Mifflin Dallas, became mayor of Philadelphia and a United States senator, as I recall it. Right. So he became mayor of Philadelphia. That's Alexander's son, George Mifflin Dallas, became mayor of Philadelphia and a United States senator. He was a strong supporter of President Polk, P-O-L-K, in the debates on the expansion of the Union. In 1844, when Polk ran for the presidency, George Dallas was his running mate in a close battle. They were victorious. Dallas Castle was originally in the parish of Port Royal, which was later abolished. Dallas Castle was then subsumed in the parish of St. Andrew. The other family that helped to settle Texas were the de Cordovas, a Jewish family established in Jamaica from the earliest time of European occupation. Specifically speaking, Jacob de Cordova, D-E-C-O-R-D-O-V-A. As a tribute to Jacob de Cordova, he and his wife were reinterred in the State Cemetery in Austin, Texas. De Cordova was born in Spanish Town, Jamaica on the 6th of June, 1808. founded the Daily Gleaner in 1834 and the city of Waco, Texas. The reburial was to honor those who had contributed to the development of the state of Texas. Jacob Rafael de Cordova, Texas land agent and colonizer, was born in Spanish Town near Kingston, Jamaica, on the 6th of June, 1808, the youngest of three sons of Judith and Rafael de Cordova. Since his mother died at his birth, he was reared by an aunt in England. He was well educated and became proficient in English, French, Spanish, German, and Hebrew. His father, a Jewish Jamaican coffee grower and exporter, moved to Philadelphia, where he became president of Congregation Mikveh Israel in 1820. Jacob joined his father in Philadelphia, and there he married Rebecca Sterling about 1826 and learned the printing trade. His ancestors had supported themselves as printers for generations. Beginning in the 16th century, when a de Cordova in Spain published Alvar Núñez Cabeza de Vacas, Explorations in Texas. We'll pause there for a moment and come back with a bit more of the history right here on both sides of the story. 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, and how are you?
I'm giving thanks for life, and you?
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Excuse my voice a bit, but little thing going on here. Anyway, wonderful program, and been a long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you.
Right. Well, I am from the state of Maryland, showing familiar, Washington, but presently in Jamaica with my ministry, Redeeming Life Bible Ministries, and we are doing some work in the community of Augustown, St. Angel. So the program that we have in urban renewal and community transformation. The community is presently in the zone of special operation. Unfortunately, we're trying to get several agencies to assist the residents of that country. Many of the persons there are having problems with the birth certificate, PRN, NIS, and so on. And I'm trying to get here to get the agency in the community, but it's so difficult. We send in correspondence by email as required, and sending these correspondence out, we have never get a reply from these agencies. And so when we follow up and call back, and they would say, resend these emails again. And no one ever will say, we received an email with we are looking into it, etc. And I discovered this in Jamaica since I'm here. All of the agencies that I'm dealing with, the Ministry of Local Government, KSSC, Clarendon Parish Council, or whatever they're called, all of these agencies, every government agency that I've dealt with, not one of them ever reply and say they receive our email, etc. So I'm really wondering if this is the way a country, if this country operates. It's very frustrating, very tardy in what it do. So I just said, I don't want to, share this with you. And I just asked the question, is this the way Jamaica government agencies do to individuals?
Not all of them. Unfortunately, there are, and it's not for want of training, but if If people are fundamentally lacking in certain skills, then it means we will always have these issues to deal with, because in the final analysis, we're dealing with people. The hope is that there is some kind of uh, some kind of uh, separation of those who perhaps are in the wrong position or in the wrong place. Don't know the extent to which that will happen, but there's another matter of the the unions, for the most part, would not have that kind of a would not countenance that situation. They would naturally want to speak in defense of their members. So the, it's one of those situations where people take up positions, and some of them behave as if they own the the positions and the institution, and there are those who, for whatever reason, who are in supervisory positions, who should be able to talk with them and get them to understand their purpose within the organization. But some of those relationships are compromised, and so it becomes a little tricky. It's just a lot of elements within that space. But what I would humbly submit is that, if, because of the nature of the work that we do through this program and the Saturday morning program, which are diaspora-oriented programs, that we always have a place, we always have a platform for those who are doing good work, both Jamaicans at home and abroad. It's something that we love to celebrate when Jamaicans at home and abroad do well. And we always try to facilitate and accommodate those who are serving Jamaica and Jamaicans at home and abroad, and they need assistance to be in touch with this organization or that institution. We usually try to assist wherever we can. I think that's as much as we are able to do or try to do, and have been doing over these years. So going forward, I'd humbly suggest that you keep my number, 876-365-3346. That's the company phone assigned to me. And we'll be happy to make available interview time so that you can share your respective stories, experiences, and ideas and plans of how you have been serving Jamaicans at home and abroad.
Thank you, Mr. Malcolm. I will reserve that number, and definitely I will be in touch with you. Thank you for your time and listening to me, and hear my queries.
Sure, no problem. It's the least we can do. As I always say, you're the ones doing the heavy lifting. We feel privileged and honored to be able to share your stories with Jamaicans at home and abroad.
Thank you, sir. And
Thank you too.
You have a wonderful afternoon, and listening to your program.
Same to you. Thank you. All the best. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Para 106 FM. The reality is, unfortunately, that we have too many of our people who take pride and pleasure in telling you no, no, telling people no, or just making a statement that is so final that there is no walking back or coming back from that space. It's people, if I tell you no, it means that's less work for me. So I don't have to go any further. No. And that's all that you need after that is a full stop. Can't continue like that. And it has spilled over in various areas. I mean, you go into a shop or a store or a restaurant, wherever, and it's almost as if you are interrupting. You're interrupting business, and people don't realize that. Well, some people don't seem to realize that they are where they are because of the customers. Because of the customers. That's why you are where you are. That's why we are where we are. And therefore, the least we can do is to show some respect or regard. That's the least. What a thing. Let's go to the break and come back with more in just a moment. Yes, Steve McDonald, I see your message. It's let's go to the break and come back.
Now go to school and learn the root. Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3 o'clock.
On the no smoking side, please be seated and fasten your seatbelts. We're approaching home. This is flight number 77. Thanks for flying on Solomonic. Hope you enjoyed your flight home.
Ting-a-ling-a-ling, school bell ring and it's back to school again. And it's ABC, 1, 2, 3, tic-tac-toe and it's all in a row. Now it's a 1, 2, buckle my shoe, 3, 4, shut the door.
Yes, Steve, I hardly ever wear the glasses, actually. Hardly ever wear them. He says, Dervan, you're wearing glasses now too? If it is progressive, you have to move your head up and down to focus. Yes, I got all of that information from the ophthalmologist. But because I'm doing so much reading, I find that it makes sense, especially in different settings and conditions, to wear the glasses. But the one thing I don't like about wearing glasses is these pads, these whatever you call them. I think they call them pads that sit on the nose bridge. They tend to leave a marking there, which I don't like. I don't like. So I hardly wear it. But it's quite useful, and I'm sure as I continue to age, it will get even more useful. Sheldon McKnight says, good afternoon, Dervan. Enjoying the program here in Toronto, Canada. Your program keeps me going at work every day. Bless up yourself, Dervan. Can't do without this program each day. Program, I think you meant. Can't do without this program each day. One love. One love to you too, Sheldon McKnight. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for messaging us. Let's go back to the phone lines, 876-922-4112-5. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
Yes, this program is like a blessing, you know. I listen to you every day, sir.
Thank you very much. That's very kind of you to say.
You're really history, man. You open my brain, you know.
We try.
Yes, sir. I was asking about the murder rate in Jamaica and Haiti. Is it we have more murder here more than Haiti, even though a war going on in there?
I'm just doing a quick check as I'm trying to answer your question. Murder rate in Haiti. Let's see what they have. The homicide rate in Haiti was 13 cases per 100,000 population in 2021. In 2018, the number of homicides per 100,000 in Haiti was estimated at 6.7, down from 9.5 2 years earlier. The murder rate registered in the Caribbean country remained relatively steady from 2011 to 2016 in a range between 9 and 10 murders per 100,000 inhabitants. The murder rate per million people in Haiti is 69.62. Now let's look at Jamaica now. Murder rate. See if you can memorize those numbers. Let's see. Let's look at Jamaica and see what we find. And what do we have here? Statistics Jamaica Constabulary Force. 2019, the homicides per 100,000 inhabitants in Jamaica, the homicides per 100,000 inhabitants, for 2019, it was 47.4. For 2020, 46.5. In 2021, 49.4. And in 2022, 52.9. It looks like the Jamaican figures are quite weighty. Anywhere between 46.5 to 52.9 per 100,000.
Wow. And we only have what, 3 million compared to over 10 million, eh?
Yes.
Bad, eh?
Mm-hmm.
But Dervan, how you give me the rate? I don't really understand the point and in how much, but I would like if you tell me like that.
It's like the number. It's like if you have a group of 100,000 people.
Yes.
40 odd percent of those will die, or every 40 odd percent, 40 odd percent of every 100,000 are in, or they might do it out of every out of a population of 1,000 as well. They have different matrices that they use, and I'm not an expert on these matters, but that's how they arrive at those things.
So we have it on Haiti then, huh?
Yes, we
compared to the population, eh?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, thank you very much, Malcolm.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Have a good one, okay?
You too. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And yes, Haiti's population is 11,123,178. It's the 85th most populous country in the world, with an estimated population of, as we said, 11,123,178 as of July 2018. And the birth rate in Haiti, 21.12 births per 1,000 population. The death rate, 7.23 deaths per 1,000 population as at 2022. And the growth rate, 1.2% in the population. Well, we gave you those numbers already. Let's go to the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Mr. Malcolm, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Well, I tell you, me I wonder if me I listened to you a while ago, just talking to that man from Maryland. And to be honest with you, me have been calling every radio station on the same problem. I don't know if it's because me is a Jamaican where I come from the grassroots, you know, recognize. But I have an injustice to say, and I lose everything through a parish court. And no advocacy group, no government agency, no MP, nobody respond just like that man. That man is a volunteer. I'm a long time volunteer in this country where help many families and many people. And I used to do this program that I bring people from Minnesota, USA, and Orlando, Florida. And I can't believe that the amount I contribute to this country. And I get to realize after you finish contribute so much and you're going to something to keep your life going as a livelihood. And because voluntary services not count at Jamaica. Jamaica no respect that, not much. And up to this day, you can't get a support from nobody because everybody said the judge is always correct, which they are not correct. They are not doing their job properly. They can be easily paid off. Nobody wants to come to that.
Really?
But I realize that
you have evidence of judges being paid off?
Well, if you want to ask that, then down to that. But me no say no justice cannot be so unbalanced.
No, but be careful, because the same knife will stick sheep, stick goat, you know.
Well, it already stick me because I am a human being. Stick human being as well.
Yeah.
And the next thing, move on from
no,
that.
but it's
Let me move on
when you
I'm not gonna get
just remember to do justice as you seek justice, that you too also do justice.
Let's do more than justice already. The next thing, I hear you was counting down those numbers of debt between Haiti and the Caribbean and Jamaica. Do you and the other people in Jamaica who have got some power of what is happening? Don't we all realize it's time to declare a civil war?
Really?
Yes, because too many people are dying for almost not all. Civilians is against civilians, families against family. There is so much. The police force cannot handle anything because they are so highly corrupted. The security minister cannot do nothing. The politician cannot do nothing. They are not able to be held accountable for nothing. Everything just gone loose right now. I think it's time to declare civil war.
And who benefits from that?
You cannot hide the truth no more. The truth cannot be hidden no more.
Who said anybody was hiding anything?
Well, to my knowledge,
in this day and age, can anything be hid in this day and age?
Yes, it can. It can be denied. It can be covered up. It can be swept under the carpet. It can be reality and turn it into something else, which is happening now.
So how do you propose we go about this civil war now?
Well, as far as me say, we are unable to control crime in this country because who lead is also a criminal. I have affiliation into it.
And the evidence would be?
The evidence is right there in front of all who lead.
Where? No, but you see, you can't be throwing. You're talking now like somebody just standing somewhere and throwing stones left, right, and center, and clapping people.
I understand that you don't. You're saying on the other side otherwise, but them say who feels it, knows it, and who been there tell story.
Yeah, but what you're doing is just dashing pieces of this and that out there. It just it doesn't.
Where you live, you don't see what's happening in the country.
And what is your solution is a civil war. So how do you propose we go about the civil war?
Ask the Prime Minister what do and the Minister of National Security what they do when the country is under civil war, they cannot manage it. And criminals have been taking over the country right and center, and the leadership of the country and the opposition and everybody is not in the right form to help the citizens and to support anything.
So what's the story? What's the situation? We're all going to just get up, pack up, and leave Jamaica, right?
No. We have all rights to fix it. We have all the rights to fix it.
That sounds more sober than what you were saying a while. For a moment there, I thought you had been imbibing.
Easy, But let me tell you, me happen to face injustice in this country, and me can just imagine, me could never hear people going to injustice all the time, but me never really understand what it's like when somebody can just shift the cards or set the cards against you,
And the legal system couldn't help you?
No, the legal system is a fraud. It's a fraud when they want to, or when you don't have any money to fight with people who have money. When the rich and mighty and powerful want what the poor have established and making their own name, it is not easy to win in court, in Jamaica court, because some of the people who operate the court are some very poor people turn into some very powerful people.
But what about your evidence or whatever you're putting before the court? Is that always sufficient?
No? They have never even allowed my evidence to prevail. They have never even allowed that. You don't understand when the cards have been set against you from the beginning. To be honest with you,
it sounds like you'll have to go to the Privy Council then.
I did have that in mind if I did reach to this stage, and right now I'm at this stage and I'm still considering it because I don't really believe in the system anymore. And
hold on a moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
The Auto World.
It's the only program on Jamaican radio dedicated to the world of automobile. It's the Auto World with Shelly and McLagan. Get news and reviews relating to vehicles and automotive technology. Learn the ins and outs of mechanical operation. Find out about the various stakeholders in the local and international automotive sectors. From auto finance to road safety to motorcycles. Power 106 FM app.
9, 10, back to school again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes, sir. How are you going to take us out of this situation now?
Well, first we have to think about taking out myself because I am not a powerful person in this country. I am at the lower end of the ladder right now. You understand? Because I have contributed a lot to this country. I can't even get the media to tell my story. I can't even get somebody, if I even call the radio station now, like what I'm doing, and ask for a follow-up to help me get to the editor or something. I'm not able. I'm trying to reach to the Prime Minister for 2 years now. And I just run around from one ministry to the other ministry, from one show to another. Nobody responds to nothing at all. You understand? It's very difficult. I said it's very difficult to have a country where people, so much money being spent for this and for that, and there is no, they respect the service. It's called service. There is no service. I happen to have a verdict now, which the court, which I received from the court. It took me 2 years to get a verdict, and the verdict said, to my knowledge, the verdict is telling me directly to become a criminal now. After they take away all my hard work for 23 plus years, give to somebody who's so wealthy, much better off than me, 1 million times a political family, and now me leave to go and become a criminal by the crown stamp. That is very, 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 very disrespectful. Very, very disrespectful. And nobody care. The gleaner, the observer, nobody, even though I reach out to them, wanted to take my story or publish my story or to follow up with my story to see how I'm coping. No, there was a coffee industry, there was all the lobby groups, there was all the people involved in the system, nobody. The ministry of this and ministry of that, councillor, MP, all the relevant people who supposed to stand up for citizens and for injustice. Nobody. So, it just shows that everybody have got tied to the same tree.
I hear you. I'm sorry to hear
And,
of
and
your plight.
it is not that I am the only person who as a citizen of this country know this. We all know this. We all know this. We all know this. I don't need to hide nothing more because we are just we just falling down on the job, left, right, and center. We don't care about anybody. We don't have any love for self. Neither we doesn't seem to have much love for self and others. And that is a very, very bad lifestyle when you have no respect for self and others. And you know, I mean, other day I hear somebody was talking that some foreign people come down here and gone up with a lot of down. And the Jamaicans were so worried about it. And I had to say, it is good for those people to come and take the dogs away because the dogs are not treating well in Jamaica. If you're going to into another country like Canada, USA, and Europe, dogs are much taken more taken care of than me right now in this country. And many other Jamaicans, to be honest. And the fire come. How come? Me don't know of it like that. Me know that people supposed to grow from one stage to the other. People work hard, they're supposed to live from what they work from. People must migrate and live a better life if there's none here and send back whatever they can send back for the family, return back home if they come to the test. That they have to come back after retirement. And some know history run. They don't know how come today people you can't make you start something and it's doing well. Some big guy will come to stop you because you're not supposed to be who you are. That's not good, sir. It goes about on a side to go.
A couple of our listeners have been messaging us on what you've been talking about. Oliver Burrell says crime can be controlled with a different mindset by the political director. Or I think they meant directorate, perhaps political directorate. Herbert Bogle asks, what responsibilities do the people of the country have to make sure crime doesn't take over the country? Just asking. And the person goes on to say, because I noticed most people just blaming the government. That's a message from Herbert Bogle.
Well, we have a lot of responsibility of citizens, but one person cannot do nothing much. We have all the responsibility. We have everybody to hold accountable. But we are not doing anything as a citizen. We are afraid. We still feel like we are enslaved. You know? We still feel like we are in slavery. And even our wages and the price to buy the money we earn to go to the supermarket or to, whatever we earn right now is a slave trade pay. And it cannot afford the inflation is higher than what we earn right now. And you know what I mean? Some people may be able to fight their way to get somewhere, but it's not everybody can. The vast majority of Jamaicans cannot.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that too. It's something that most of us know. But yet we still sit down and we agree to some of the most deplorable, you know what I mean? The most deplorable agreements for the people. Something that can help the people. And you know what I mean? And if you have to go in the line for hands out, some people can't really reach up to the front. You know? You're not qualified. You're not getting it because you don't have any friend in this place or in this area or in this system or anywhere ever. But by closing, they ask for some private interview in terms of the media or and I need to hear from the Prime Minister, people like those. I send them many letters, they have never responded. I need to get someone from the editor or from the Prime Minister, from one of these newspapers who can dig deep into my story and publish it because it's going to, as you said before, the same knife for juke sheep, it juke goat, it juke cow, it juke people, it juke everybody. It cut you in your kitchen. But you know what? Me all hear this story. Me not born yesterday. I come from far. I do a lot with my country. And but me didn't know so me I go reach out to this But that's me would do nothing to my country. I know people laugh after me tell me was one time. And the people remember the good me do, but they just don't support it because it's all past and gone and everybody benefits, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well,
no me a struggle. That is that me can hardly take care of myself and my family. Because me don't have an income for the last 2 years. Me can't pay my bills, me can't buy food, everything. Me can't find no solution to my problem. Me think me even losing friends in terms of my popularity of friendship and whatever, you know what it's like when you was doing good for a country and you live on a bullshit now.
Mm-hmm. Well, a couple of other messages have come in response to what you've been saying so far.
It's a long time I want to come up on the radio, come talk like this. And I just try to keep back, you know. Right, man. Now to them, I decide to swallow my pride and talk about the things and because. And I'm making up my mind now to launch a begging campaign across the country or across the globe because I need to see myself getting back somewhere. This is out of my blessing from voluntary services. You know what I mean? From whatever representing communities over the many years, from 4-H club come up, from youth club come up, from business association, from youth organization, from global volunteers and United Nations Development Program. Yeah, there's so coffee industry. There is so much things I've been involved in as a young person growing up until in the middle age. And now I left everything, walk away from everything. I'm going to do my coffee planting. And they took away my 10-acre coffee through the parish code, give it to a very wealthy coffee company and their friends. And you know what I mean? And nobody interested to investigate.
So you had a title for all of that?
No, I didn't have a title. I was doing it under a lease agreement, and I was there long before they gave me a lease agreement. We have a generation history of work in the land.
Oh wow! Well,
yeah, and there are 70 other plus farmers on the land right now.
Hold a moment, please. We'll have to wrap when we come back from this break. One moment.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs-controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:30.
Cameras turned on and no smoke inside. Please be seated and fasten your seatbelts. We're approaching home. This is flight number 77. Thanks for flying with Solomonic. Hope you enjoyed your flight home.
Ting-a-ling-a-ling, school bell ringing, it's back to school again. And it's ABC, 1, 2, 3, tick that going, it's on.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. A couple of messages have come in since the last time we checked from Steve McDonald in Toronto, Canada. He says, Dervan Malcolm, we have to blame the government as it is the government responsibility to ensure that the citizens of the country can move freely around. And the next part of the another thread of the message, Dervan Malcolm, it is the government alone which can pass laws to ensure that criminals are protected. So we have to blame the government when they are not doing what they're supposed to do. Thank you very much for your messages. Keep them coming in here on Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Text line 876-365-3346. Yes, sir. What's the conclusion now at this stage?
Yes, what me trying to do? Me trying to get need to get a follow-up interview, because the thing about it, I need to hear from the Prime Minister office. Somebody out there must be responsible for some of these type of injustice. I can roll back certain type of injustice, because I would like to get some help to start back myself back in life. My dream have been stolen, and you know what is they said is the solution for a stolen dream.
What is it?
It's bang around, and because I have this big and good heart, I just leave things to its own turnaround. Because I'm not going out here to war with anybody. I know that people know that they should do the right thing. You know, that's all I know it. People know that when they are doing the wrong thing, they know that they are doing the wrong thing. And they know big people in society who control some government offices and big management and family are big politicians, and they are living a cloud nine. They know the right thing what to do. And when they are destroying other families and other world class of people, they know they are doing something wrong. And when they are paying off friend and company and they have linkages there and they are in the loops there and there, they know the right thing. And that's all I can tell them. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Do the right thing, because they should know better.
Yes. All right. Well, you have said it. You have summed it up. Do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
All right. Well, please keep in touch and let us know how things go going forward.
I would like you to help me to get the Prime Minister to talk to me on some ground. And I also would like all the listeners out there who are willing to help me get back on my feet, help me to get back something going, because that's the only way I survive is to have a farm. And I that's the only way I survive, through my coffee farm. I don't even started to reap the fruition of it as much as I should, you know. It took all that time to establish it, to wait and to nurture it and all of that, and I have never got the chance to reap the fruits of it, you know.
Well, we hope your day will come in a good way.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for the call. Take
All
care. Bye-bye. Keep in touch, please. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Franklin McDonald in Guelph, Canada, has shared with us a story published by Al Jazeera. Cuba uncovers network trafficking. Cubans to fight for Russia in Ukraine. That's one of the trending stories that popped up a short while ago, and just decided to share it. So the story is: Cuba has uncovered a human trafficking ring that has coerced Cuban citizens to fight for Russia in the war in Ukraine. What a thing. That's the word coming from the foreign ministry, adding that authorities were working to neutralize and dismantle the network. The ministry's statement on Monday gave few details, but noted the trafficking ring was operating both in the Caribbean island nation of Cuba, and within Russia. The Ministry of the Interior detected and is working on the neutralization and dismantling of a human trafficking network that operates from Russia to incorporate Cuban citizens living there, and even some from Cuba, into the military forces participating in war operations in Ukraine. Cuba has a firm and clear historical position against mercenarism and plays an active role in the United Nations in repudiation of this practice, the ministry added, according to an unofficial translation. Cuba is not part of the war in Ukraine. It is acting and will act vigorously against whoever from the national territory participates in any form of human trafficking for the purposes of recruitment of mercenarism, so that Cuban citizens use weapons against any country. the Russian government has not commented on the allegations. So that's a story. Thank you very much, Franklin McDonald in Guelph, Canada, for sharing that story with us. Cuban in Georgia says, Sir Malcolm, what is happening with the Reparations Commission in order to push the $9 trillion US David Crosburn is speaking of daily on this program, both sides of the story? And can we get an update from the committee on where we stand as Black enslaved descendants of chattel slavery in the Caribbean? The administration is wrong to put SSL budget on the backs of we, the descendants of slavery, says Cuban in Georgia. Horace, otherwise known as Spider, says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Re the SSL controversy. Is that no money left in SSL? Why the government didn't approach the shareholders and explain to them the position and ask their permission to take a percentage out of their money to do the investigation? Does anyone out there think that they would say, no, don't use the taxpayers' money to do it? I wonder. I see where they are finally, this is Horace, otherwise known as Spider again. I see where they're finally doing some patchwork on Spanish Town Road. And Mr. Malcolm, there's a spot on Spanish Town Road right in front of the power track water. Always spring up there from some broken main there. What happened to those good workers from the NWC? They have tried over and over, but the problem always comes back. Horace, otherwise known as Spider. And this one says, Mr. Malcolm, I have a story of injustice. I would love to get some help with still. Something is missing here. Can you check the message and come back to us, please? This one says, hi, Mr. Malcolm. Would the country know what was the latest position with SSL if the unpaid workers didn't strike? People have been asking for an update there to no avail. The Minister of Finance knew that monies would run out at the end of July to pay salaries and expenses. So if the workers did not strike for their August salaries, they would not have paid then. Both the FSC and the Ministry of Finance are responsible for what happened at SSL. FSC took no serious action for years, and upon advising the Finance Minister of problems there, he took no action. I don't want it to be blamed on a filing problem. No, sir, not again. What are they doing about the other people they say they are investigating? Are they going to let them run from Jamaica before being arrested? That's just to wrap up, it is said that some affected depositors are not cooperating with the investigators. Don't they want their money back, just like you saying? Mr. Malcolm, did you ever hear from that man who was going to Florida to get workers to come to Jamaica to help him build some storage facility here? No, that's Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, yeah, that's Zimbabwe. Was the caller who refers to himself as Zimbabwe. Mr. Malcolm, did you ever hear, right, I read that part, was that he was just now calling for a civil war? No, don't mix them up. Two different people. The caller this afternoon wasn't Zimbabwe, but Zimbabwe was the one who said he would go to Florida and get workers to come to Jamaica to help him build some storage facilities. Let's go back to the phone lines. 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Miss Mervis.
To you and all the listeners.
Thank
and
you.
The great workers of power. Thanks for that little piece of history about Dallas Castle. That That's where I passed my third year and worked for 2 years before I got to college. That's Dallas Castle in the East Rural there.
Yeah.
And all about the coffee place there, not far from the school and so on.
What, Mavis Bank?
No man, down in Dallas,
one?
you don't go that side, you go cross down the Hope River,
Oh.
down the University Road,
Mm-hmm.
cross the Hope River and go up the hill.
I see.
Like you're going to Constitution and then you turn off down to Dallas. You can approach it from the Bulbia side of the Fall Pass area there.
Mm-hmm.
You can approach it from there too.
Okay.
Yes, so that's a good piece of history. There was a lady down there named Mrs. Hazelpearl Patterson who built Dallas School from scratch.
That name sounds familiar.
I think Judge Burchinson was one of our students too.
Oh.
Yes, she was no ordinary teacher, man. I tell you.
And there is a gentleman in the financial field, Reg Burchinson. I've heard that name.
If it does was son. But as well, Mr. Burchinson was a judge, from a police to a judge.
Okay.
Still around, I think. That's one of our great students. So am I. He's a Pearl Patterson man. HPP, we used to call her horsepower power.
Uh-oh.
That no nonsense woman, you know. Man, great work in Dallas. She built that school from scratch, I tell you, up to where it is. Yes. So thanks for the piece of history there.
You're welcome.
Yes, and that gentleman who spoke last a while ago, I am in great sympathy with him.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of Jamaicans that have been experiencing those kind of situations where land is concerned. I am seeing too much of the nation land, the poorer people are the people on the bottom and land over the years, and instead of they sell it to them and let them go on, let take the land and give it to some, you know.
Hold a moment, please.
For any project, ABC Electrical Sales has all your electrical supplies at the best prices. 8 Hagley Park Road, Kingston, 754-3714. The time by ABC Electrical Sales is
3:45.
The quality of care for the environment determines the quality of our lives and the lives of future generations. What are the various features of our environment, and what's the state of these features? Who are the stakeholders responsible for the environment's care? What are some of the laws and conventions that govern the protection of our environment? The Environment and You seeks to answer these questions and more. Join Power 106 FM during Power Talk on Wednesdays at 1:15 p.m. with host Salmon Crosskill for the feature The Environment and You, showcasing discussions on the major issues affecting our environment. The Environment and You is sponsored by the Jamaica Environment Trust, JET, a voice for Jamaica's natural resources.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Miss Mervis, thanks for holding.
Yes, man. Our political leaders over a period of time, to me, seems to care very little about Jamaicans. And I hear this poverty talk, that love talk about the poor, the poor, the poor. You know? Talking poverty. When I was growing up, people weren't very rich, but this poor wasn't spoken in their spirit. They see them take time, struggle, and way up. You know?
No, you're right. People used to just go about their business
and try to make life.
Yeah.
You never hear so much about no poor. And it is this.
But there's a time in our history when as I'm trying to remember now, what did I read? That this term of referring to themselves as sufferers.
Yes.
That came into our
psyche.
Yes.
And this freeness mentality. Because not free of people, taxes pay for it, you know, much time you say that on radio. They got them politicians and people must stop telling you about free health care and free education. And people taxes teach people that are them tax pay for it. They must stop it. borrow it, and if them borrow the money, we still have to pay it back. So you have direct and indirect taxes.
Yes.
Yes. And they must stop this slackness. No free health care, no out there. And no free education, no out there.
Somebody has to pay for it.
I remember when in the 90s, when they put this cash sharing thing in the education, I was so vexed. And at conference, I even said to my fellow teachers, we should not collect that money. I said, cash sharing what? Not the people used to pay it, not the taxpayer used to pay for education all the while. It's an additional tax in a nice way. And I was warning my colleague not to collect it because it look like a way to put tax at the school putting tax on the people. And I said this school fee come into being, you know. Some of these school fees come into being out of that thing that was put there by Mr. Bertel Whiteman in a film time about cash sharing. Yeah. Cash sharing what? You see them kind of terminology what them using people there, man? Disgusting. Eh? What extra tax that, you know? Did you know that we ask for education tax as teachers? And then take the education tax and throw it in the consolidated fund?
Yes. Mix up the money.
Yes. Because we asked for it because the school were so badly financed. Hence the whole heap of fundraising in there. And I remember at one conference, the minister said he's going to give the schools enough money so that we stop fundraising and get on with the business of teaching. That never happened. Never. Instead of that, a cash sharing coming. And he came to conference one year boasting up how cash sharing is working. I said to one of the past president at the end of the session, I said, you know, some children prostituting themselves to get that money. I know it. When I shared with one of my fellow teachers, she said, you see, here one, definitely here one parent that tells them, put me with part of water to go work the money.
Oh, Jesus.
It's not a joke, you know. There's a lot of things I know about the system. And it's hurting me up to now badly. See, the man talk about him coffee plot. That's how I feel about the education system, and I look at what is happening with the teachers migrating to these big countries to build them up. And all this slavery thing come back to me, how we were used and abused as black people, and Jamaicans are mostly black people. And I look at our policemen, our teachers, our doctors, our nurses, and all those people who are supposed to build this nation, Dervan. Excuse me, moving into these affluent country, big countries, you know what I mean? It's really hurting. Really hurting me badly. Excuse me, I'm sitting here with some programs.
You sound like you need to mix up a little portion.
I don't know what happened, just start happening. I have some programs here for the past 30 years that could have taken this system out of illiteracy. Which is you see some of these guys who sit down and going at the program there, but them can't read it. Them can't read and them shame. Yeah? Because people ridicule them too. You know that. Them ridicule them, so they're afraid to go out there because they can't read. You see, reading is the problem. And from the Prime Minister was Minister of Education under Bruce Golding, as the man said right everywhere, we feel him pains. He never ever PJ answer all of my letters. Excuse me, I'm having some water. This Prime Minister never answer one of them. From the minister down the road. Yeah? The programs are sitting here. When once you get them reading and get their mindset right, you're free to know where some of them become. Me see me do it. I see it work with school children, and most of them are male, you know, Dervan. You see the crime? You see what commit the crime? At the root of the crime is this illiteracy thing, you know, and lack of being able to cope with programs. If you even put them in some program, they can't cope. You understand?
Yes.
So the situation is really painful. Yeah? People talking about that, but me know people in my community who are whole heap of picnic. And none of them never turn no criminal, you know. So where is the responsibility of the, what would I call the brought up CO2? Where is that? You can't just get up and, I think me here upon the news today, so them must have stolen one of the brand new bus already.
Really?
Yes. I hope the fears are getting like trouble here, sir. Yes. Or what me not hear me hear wrong. Now one of the brand new buses get damaged already. You whoop on us. Yeah? So me wouldn't be surprised, you know. Because there is a set of people in this country, you know, that sabotagers, you know. Them set to sabotage this country, you know, for one reason or another, you know. And when them seems to be unconscious of whatever them are trying to do to government or whichever side, we are the taxpayers of this country who are suffering, you know. I feel with taxes are waste. I feel with country are go down. Huh? I don't know what is it that is going to have to do, you know. But like when I'm stuck my life around here, so I tell some people I'm a minister to say, I am denied a family. I am denied I can't drive, I can't travel. It's a whole heap of things I can't do, you know, Dervan. A whole heap of things is a kind of sacrifice where most people wouldn't want to make. The whole 2-bedroom house and my half acre is nothing but an office in the nation interest. I can't even entertain my family members here anymore. I can't just barely visit and go when we used to be able to entertain them in here. Can't happen. See? Well, if all newspaper, 5 jacket everywhere, all kind of something. In here, something. So this is not a little talk show business. All the NCB bank in Port Maria was still there. That sent me to stop the manager from that bank down the road in the 90s, you know. Yes? You think I look at something we do undercover in this parish? Eh?
That's a government savings bank?
No, man, the National Commercial Bank.
Oh, NCB.
Yes. Because when they decide to close the bank and people draw their money and go over court, and I say, no, this can't work, you know. Somebody call the meeting, not me. But I say to them, this can't work. Where children go and find work when like them a scrap Port Maria, you know, Dervan. That's when I noticed somebody was like them scrapping Port Maria. They were locking down the hospital. Them take over the public work yard. We are on a rich man. Them come up, it's like everything, like they're that demonic force against Port Maria. You know, from the market, a bill and can't stop condom. But God, them put one nice fire station there now. Yeah. But Port Maria been struggling me every fast and pray Port Maria to one condition, you know. And a joke, you know, God said the parish capital under siege. Yeah. I mean, I have to pull up something in there like somebody have it under siege, you know. So some places are under siege, you know, Dervan. Some people hold it down. You're afraid to know some things when we deal with. You know, some community people sit down in there working pure iniquity to make sure every girl picking in there drop out of school pregnant, you know. Eh? If you know some kind of witchcraft and evil at high level in this nation, you know, they set up themselves, and if you not join them organization, you're in trouble. Eh? But me don't know, you know. I don't know. Father God said take long to start something, but when it starting done same time. But this country is a mess, you know. It is a mess. You see the courthouse? I've been in that courthouse from 2003 to 2010 with 2 different landlords. Here the man talk about justice. When God tell me in 2000 I prepare for go to court and he will be the judge, jury and lawyer, then I know what me go to court for we do. When we go in a court or some things happen to me, you see, about judge, the Almighty finally tell me that the courthouse has become a place where judges and lawyers will sell them products. Eh? Justice. Him said to me, said justice can only be served with truth. Yeah? Truth. He said truth and justice cannot be divorced. A judge can pass a verdict for any argument, but to serve justice, there must be truth. Yeah? And some lies were told that will happen to me personally in that courthouse. And some things where judge said to me, God to leave them alone because you're undercover agent. Think it's joke? People talk about judge care wrong. When we tell a retired judge what happened to me, the man said, a judge told you that? 3 times the man couldn't believe it, you know. Yes, man, if you're poor, I'm sorry for you. If you go against some rich people in a courthouse, I'm sorry for you. Because the whole place will clean up Dervan. They tell you the truth, the whole nation needs a sorrow. You see, the education system, did you hear UNESCO said the other day they might have removed the tablet out of the school?
No, that wouldn't make any sense.
Because UNESCO said the technology seems to be more harm than good to the student. I heard that.
No, but they have to learn. They have to learn to be responsible. They have to
They're
learn.
not responsible.
They have
They're not
to
responsible. They don't even understand.
recognize the impact, the positive impact. Like so many things in life, there's good and bad in everything.
So many
But
things they're not paying attention to the positive, Dervan. The negative of them pulling down the road like as God would say, a dead chicken on a string.
yeah,
They're
well,
not paying enough attention to the positive.
well, some of us are going to have to learn the hard way.
No, you see, we never prepare them feet properly, you know, Dervan. We push it on them and then prepare them and get them to understand what is
Well, we should just get to it while we can, while we still can.
No, man, we don't know where we're going, you know, but it is a serious thing. That's why when we run my program, we never use nothing name of technology in it. And it works so fast.
Well, my late mother would say, with respect to the technology, and a something not go, a something not come.
Yes, but
we have to deal with it.
Some guys come from a secondary school, come to the program who had technology there with reading program. And the guy look for me and tell me, so what happened to the program at your school? He said, but miss, well, them are whoever it a talk now. But him say them can't talk to me like how you talk to me. And them think them, I know what, me rather relate to the natural person, you know. You know? And this what I call this AI something artificial intelligence. No artificial intelligence now replace me, you know, because that name artificial. I mean name natural. You know, see? So when artificial, me ask them how much of them sitting there in a supermarket and shop. So when I take the whole of the job for the people, then give them to them ugly something.
It's a natural progression of
man. Who go and shop there, man? Who go and buy the product them? Because them they not eat food, you know.
People.
No, but what is the job them down to them something then?
Yeah. Huh? But remember that people thought the world was coming to an end in the year 2000.
That's a fool.
And all of that.
Me never think so. And I talk about this go happen to computer
23 years later.
You never believe that.
Here we go. All right, we have to leave it there, Miss Mervis, before other listeners start to message us to tell us that we keep having the same callers and they're taking up a lot of time and all these things. Let's move on.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock. Ladies and gentlemen, notice the captain has turned on the no smoking sign. Please be seated and fasten your seatbelts. We're approaching home. This is flight number 77. Thanks for flying on Solomonic. Hope you enjoyed your flight home.
Ting-a-ling-a-ling, school bell ringing, it's back to school again. And it's ABC, 1, 2, 3, tic-tac-toe, and it's all in a row.
So a few messages have come in since the last time we checked. This one says, good afternoon. I'm hearing this man and I feel his pain and understand what he's going through. Jamaica is a tough place to live. I'm sorry for him. That's the caller who was on earlier on. Another message. Hi, Dervan. That gentleman was speaking the truth about the system. It seems as if everybody is afraid of each other in this country. We are all afraid of each other. This one, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. I heard a person say he should get recreational money from the UK. What I would like to ask is, if they give us the country, that should be enough, because the country is worth billions. So it wouldn't be right for us to ask for money because they already gave us the country. All right. And this is Ratio from St. Thomas. I have a bad experience with the court system in Jamaica. Also, Jamaica is not a real place. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not one of those who is into that kind of thing, where we're beating down the country. I'm not into that at all. It is obviously a real place. It is one of those places that has contributed in so many ways to the global culture, heritage, sports, the works. Any area of development you can think of, somewhere there, you are bound to find a Jamaican who is playing his or her part. We're not into the thing about Jamaica is not a real place. It's just one of those expressions that everybody wants a piece of at some point. Please, spare us. So we have cleared those messages. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Some more messages. No, we read that one already. Kenneth McLaughlin says, Mr. Malcolm, that man needs a good lawyer, in reference to the caller earlier on who expressed himself extensively. Nicola in Central Jamaica says, good afternoon, Dervan. Tuned in as usual. Thank you very much, Nicola. Good to have you on board. And all the very best. And over on YouTube, Richard Oldacre says, good evening, Mr. Malcolm. We go to school from basic to university and not taught anything about our constitution. Well, blame those who in whose stewardship our children had to endure. They had custody of our future and our history, our heritage, our civic life, and some of them blew it. But having said that, we're still breathing. Where there is life, there is hope. Some people put no premium on hope. Well, Alexander Pope told us a long time ago that hope springs eternal in the human breast. Man never is, but ought to be blessed, or something to that effect. 876-922-4112 the numbers to call. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dervan.
Good afternoon.
Yes, calling from St. Mary.
Welcome.
Yeah. Because I'm reading your Paul.
Paul.
Yeah. What I like to talk about is like the water condition in the dam we hear about. How much is the percent going to reach 30% or something like that?
We could do a quick check. Catchment, dam, percentage. This is the Mona Dam we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right, 50%. Oh, no, this, they don't have any current, I'm not seeing any current information. What they have takes us back to 2022, 11:21 a.m., Monday, the 8th of August, 2022. Storage volumes at the corporate areas, 2 main catchment facilities, continued to decline, with the Mona Reservoir at 50% of capacity and the Hermitage Dam at 66.5%. So obviously those are stale numbers. That's as at August 8, 2022. I haven't seen.
Okay, I didn't hear it right. Okay.
I haven't seen anything more current. Sorry, go ahead.
But what I'm saying is that you have a thing where you call panic.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a panic rush, people are gonna buy tank and full up with water. So if you have say 60% of water in the tank, you could have people contain another 10% somewhere, whereby you just put it 10%, it could be more than that. But the fact that you have black tanks and other tanks to full up, that means that the net and the tank will be going out of water when a panic when people get them panic.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. So it's really good. It's a good thing to let people know the amount of water in the tank. And for the next time, the people who want to rush and buy the tank and fill them up, That is the next thing to think about.
True.
Yeah, that is a very important thing to think about. The people who are going to buy tanks and put them up after Friday, they're going to rush and put them. So you see tanks put them quick in a week or a year in a short period of time. While some people may have water and keep them while their tanks don't look like it can fit, period of time. So there's a mathematics concerning that,
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. A useful point.
Just think about that, this idea whereby some people just use water normally, and then they use not water normally, but once they hear the water going down, the more the report goes, they go down, the more people get quicker to them tank and make sure the tank all is full.
Well, we're just seeing a story from the Observer that is in line with what you said, I think, with respect to the capacity. It's let me just bring up the date on this story, but it's the closest we have come to the actual numbers. Oh Lord, this was a long time ago. This one was actually, the story was from 2015. Oh, that's super stale. Yeah, so so let's move past those.
Yeah, so in the future, I see they have to give report yet, but they have to remember there's a thing called panic.
Yes.
There's a panic.
Just like what happened in COVID with the panic purchases of toilet paper.
That's right. Different to the water.
Yes.
Maybe there is not enough black tanks. Maybe now look like there's plenty of black tank, but the amount of black tank will be available. All of them try to fill up one time. They will look around no water if you dam. They have to remember not to make people panic.
Yes, true.
Right, that is my point.
Thank you. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Are you there? 876-922-4112-5, the numbers to call. 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. What's this now? Couple of updates. Chang decries murders across Jamaica, including killing of Spanish Town family. Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang has described as sadistic recent killings across Jamaica, noting Tuesday that murders go beyond policing. The Deputy Prime Minister said attacks on women were even more concerning. There are some other stories. Belarus bans citizens from renewing passports abroad, spreading fear among those who fled repression. Loaded gun hidden in plastic bag seized in Portmore. Man on bail charged for fatal St. Andrew gun attack. Pilot to begin soon for air conditioning units in 30 schools. Interesting, last night I was in on a conversation of certain institutions which are fully air conditioned in terms of the classrooms. So they have had no issues beating the heat, at least not while at school. And if they have it at school, chances are they have it at home as well. Chances are. CARICOM eminent group arrives in Haiti. What's the latest now? Let's see if we can give you the latest here on Haiti. CARICOM eminent group arrives in Haiti, and there's a picture. I don't know how many times I need to log into this system. Why? Anyway, I really don't have time for that. Let's move on. There's a picture of members of the Eminent Persons Group during the inaugural meeting with Haitian stakeholders in Jamaica. And the story since then is the Caribbean Community CARICOM Eminent Persons Group, EPG, has arrived in Haiti as regional leaders prepare to meet virtually on Tuesday to discuss the ongoing socio-economic and political situation in the French-speaking CARICOM country. The EPG is led by the former Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Dr. Kenny Anthony, and includes the former Prime Minister of Jamaica, Bruce Golding, and his former Bahamian counterpart, Perry Christie. The EPG is due to remain in Haiti until September 10, holding discussions with the various stakeholders with a view to finding a political compromise aimed at stabilizing the country and promoting a democratic transition. Last week, CARICOM chairman and Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, confirming the virtual summit, said the EPG has been engaging a wide cross-section of the population representing groups and has also been having discussions with the United Nations as well as other stakeholders in the United States and Canada. Reports in Port-au-Prince say the EPG should submit a document to the stakeholders for a possible political agreement, which includes, among other things, the balance of power between the executive actors, the inclusion and the responsibility of the High Transitional Council, the control body of the government action, a government of national unity, and the operations of the Council of Ministers. So Haiti still trying to get it together and being assisted by CARICOM as well as the United States and Canada, and no doubt elsewhere in the world. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Derek Morgan says, greetings to you and your listeners, Mr. D. As our children go back to school, we are praying for their safety and protection.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15.
The Auto World.
It's the only program on Jamaican radio dedicated to the world of automobile. It's the Auto World with Shelly and McLagan. Get news and reviews relating to vehicles and automotive technology. Learn the ins and outs of mechanical operation. Find out about the various stakeholders in the local and international automotive sectors. From auto finance to road safety to motorcycles, the Auto World is your one-stop shop for everything auto. That's the Auto World with Shelly and McLagan. Weekdays at 5:15 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I caught that bird alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It flew away.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:16. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4h16. 现在几点了？4点16分。16 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? And have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also manage to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon, Michael. How are you?
Yes,
I hear you. Oh, the fact that she...
From Dallas, I mean, like how you give me the history of Dallas today, me have an idea of it, but me like how you give me the history.
You're welcome.
Because we are up in the mountain, in the ancient years, them call it Port Royal Mountain, you know.
Yes, in fact, because I read that as well, that area was designated as that. All of that was taken in as part of Port Royal or something to that effect.
Yeah, man, guys, something up here, the great house up here, up a plant here, Henry Morgan control it in a few days, you know.
Yes.
I use the governor, and governor Stretton, and governor put it up in the mountain, you know.
That's true.
Yeah, a place named with the shape.
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Sorry, just a moment. Let's continue with Michael, and then we go to the next caller. All right, sorry about that. Please call us back, Michael. In the meantime, let's go to another call. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello, good afternoon, my professor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Carter.
Just leaving work.
Oh, really?
I would like to share with some of the people what I pick up at work today.
Mm-hmm.
Dervan, concerning bus fares.
Yes.
I was reliably informed that bus fare going to raise. And the price that they reach so far across the board is $180. So people need to prepare for a raise in bus fares, yeah.
And the reality though is that because of the nature of public transport, what you have essentially is a subsidized transport system, which is pretty much the same. It's almost totally universal. It's almost universal globally, that the public transport service is subsidized. So the raising the
You have to pay the money in advance and get your ticket, get your card.
So what currently obtains? Don't you have a card and you insert it in a machine on the bus? Isn't that what is usually done?
But most people pay by cash now.
Oh.
So they're going to cut out the cash mandatory by January. So people must prepare for that.
But the extent of the preparation is to know that they're going to use their card.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's going to affect your cash flow. Because when people normally have their, you're going to travel the whole week and you would spend cash flow one time because you won't have the cash. You follow me?
No, come again.
All right, for example, if I travel on the bus 10 times per week,
yes,
I would have to pay by
buy 10 travel from the JUTC ticket office.
Yes.
Which would be 1,800.
Mm-hmm.
So that gone out of my wallet right now. And I don't travel yet. So that's going to affect your cash flow.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, so people must prepare for that, yeah?
But they won't they still be able to pay cash?
No, because of the pilferage that is going on at JUTC. The new Minister of Transport is going to eliminate cash completely from the system. In order to save the bus company.
To save the bus company?
Yeah, because the level of pilferage that is going on.
Oh, okay.
Secondly, Dervan, what is going on in the Panama Canal? The Panama Canal is drying up because of the drought, you know that?
I wouldn't be surprised based on how things have been going.
Yeah, based on our trade, most of our goods come through the Panama Canal. And with the level of water in the Panama Canal now, the ships traveling slower and they have to carry less cargo. It's going to cause another series of inflation, especially for the Christmas goods there.
Mm-hmm.
So people who want to buy things for Christmas, if you can get it now and you have the money, go get it now and put it in your pantry. It is causing headache in the Manufacturing Association of Jamaica. That's one of the key things I pick up at work today. They're telling us to buy things in bulk and make sure that we prepare for that level of inflation coming. Because those are imported inflation. Dervan?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm telling
and they're also projecting that they expect 1,500 less crossings of the Panama Canal next fiscal year.
You hear that now? You hear that? Thank you, my professor. And what will that mean to the economy of Jamaica, Mr. Malcolm?
It's going to have cost implications.
We tell the people it's only teamwork. Anything you want, you better go dream right now. It's only teamwork going to make it work, you know. Good families and good friends. And hear the serious thing that we discussed at work today, Dervan. SSL.
Yes, Stocks and Securities Limited.
Yeah, no, SSL is a private limited company, right?
Yes.
It is owned by private shareholders. They don't sell shares on the open market, right? No, one of our directors is telling us that it is more difficult to prove fraud than to prove murder. And the fact that...
I can see that, yes.
Well, it is more difficult to prove fraud than murder.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons why they can't call anybody name in the SSL saga just now, even though they might suspect people, is because of the limited liability status that they have in the company.
Mm-hmm.
When you buy shares in a company, limited is Dervan, the liability is limited to the amount of shares that you have in the company.
Yes.
So therefore, you cannot go and touch any of the shareholders' house or car in order to pay back SSL debt.
That's
because
right.
they have a different status.
That is correct.
So he's telling us now that majority of Jamaicans who are sitting down criticizing SSL, especially those in the small business sector, they must remember that they don't have such status. They have what is called unlimited liability.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to crunch time, the government of the day, whether the PNP or JLP, when they're going to need more revenue, those people who operate small business that operate as sole traders and partnerships, talking about those corner shop, corner bar, hairdressers, they have to make sure that they register their business properly and keep proper accounts of their business because they have unlimited liability status, and they are likely to use their personal assets in order to pay the government back its taxes. You hear that, Dervan?
Yeah.
The people of Jamaica must know that they need to start merging up their liquor business, merging up your family, and see who you can work with in order to solve the crisis that is coming, Dervan. Because it's going to get real serious around here. And one of the things about politics is that the politician not going to tell you anything. They're just going to, the tax office is just going to attack your business, etc. You hear that, man?
Well, as bad as we think the tax people are, I don't think they're people who attack people.
Well, I'm going to tell you a project that is going on the ground right now, is it?
Yes.
There's a lot of companies that register with the tax office. And since COVID, they have reported every year that they're not making a profit. And right now, all of those businesses come up for tax audit right now, yeah? Because they can't see how you're operating 2 to 3 years without making a profit, yeah?
Yeah, well, I know only one way, you know, and that is the right way. Whatever is true, whatever is right. You know, if as individuals we lack integrity in that regard, then it might work out differently.
Well, you know that those of us who pay statutory deductions now, when you look at an entity like the National Insurance Scheme, that most people looking forward for a little stipend when they retire, you know that it is under threat to dry up within the next 15 years if we don't get more contributors, you know that?
Well, I would be more inclined to wanting to have a meeting with the actuaries.
Yes, sir.
I would much prefer to be talking to them on these matters.
Thank you, Dervan.
Because that's what they do. It's a specialist kind of a science of sorts.
Last thing, Mr. Malcolm.
Yes.
From Arnett Gardens straight back to Tivoli, which include Rima, Benham Anatown. They don't have any water for the last 2 weeks, you know. And most of these people in this area, they don't pay water rate. I'm telling the Jamaican people, it's when it comes to crunch time, Dervan, people who don't pay them water rate, you know, they don't get any benefit from the National Water Commission, you know, Dervan. Because at the end of the day, you know, with the state of the water reservoirs in the country, especially the Mona
Sorry,
reservoir.
hold a moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:31 on Power 106.
Here is a financial literacy tip from your friends at Power 106 FM. Record your expenses. The first step to start saving money is figuring out how much you spend. Keep track of all your expenses. That means every coffee, household item, and cash tip, as well as regular monthly bills. Record your expenses however it's easiest for you. A pencil and paper, a simple spreadsheet, or a free online spending tracker or app. Once you have your data, organize the numbers by categories such as gas, groceries, and mortgage, and total each amount. Use your credit card and bank statements to make sure you've included everything.
Cause skipping class ain't gonna make you pass, and sure gonna be in trouble. 2 1s or 2, 2 2s or 4, 2 3s or 6.
You were saying, Mr. Carter.
That people who live in areas that is prone not to pay water rate. The National Water Commission is having what you call a liquidity crisis over there. They sign a contract with their workers,
And what they realize now is that they can't meet the wage bill because most of the money that they collect is not sufficient to meet the wage bill and cover their operational costs. So a lot of people not going to have water. I'm putting it out there if you live in an area like Island Gardens to Tivoli, Rima, Anatown, and Denham Town. Commission your MP to take it to the Parliament to work out a negotiation with the Water Commission to see how they can bail out these communities so that they can write off the water bill that they want. Because these communities in the Dervan, they have been used as sacrificial lamb since me born for JLP and PMP politics. And at the end of the day, we can't allow these people to die of thirst and lack of water. This is where the government needs to bail out these communities once and for all with the Water Commission. Because at the end of the day, water is life. These are the things that I pick up at work today. We had a general meeting and everybody talking and telling people how to get prepared for what is on the horizon. Because the government is not your friend in the Dervan. And Dervan.
Yes, sir.
Dervan, the government, the government is not either JLP or PNP. It's a system, Dervan.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It is a system.
It is a system,
yes, it is.
To be continued.
Thank you.
Thank you to my professor.
Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
When someone come back, sir.
Yes, thanks for coming back online. Pick up where you left off, please.
We are talking about the road from Guavarage back up to the Flam Street,
It's back up, meaning it was down?
Not down, it's in a bad condition, extra bad condition,
Oh.
And the rain season not begin yet, The time the rain just had you on all gutters bad and all drain and all care. That size rather say have some money to spend on the road, them talk from last year, so them have some money to spend. I would have liked them come and spend the money and go shop, spend the money where they need,
Yeah, well, I've had the pleasure and the privilege of moving up and down, in and out of East Rural St. Andrew from the standpoint of doing outside broadcasts in the general area, dropping off individuals in that area on a number of occasions, and just observing that whatever kind of road is being built or refurbished must take into account the climate in that area, some of the peculiarities in that area. Otherwise, it could just end up being some kind of a cash cow as opposed to a sustainable development.
You know the real thing, man. And the next thing, the caller before right now, I talk about the water. This one to the water system in the city right now. The Mona Reservoir catchment, that building was about in the 40s or 30s. And then time, the whole place walk down there, walk past there, walk down, go past the Moon Heights there, walk down, go past there. And most of them places they never have no house, And they never, all them have built the house and don't develop no more water system, Even in the Kenya up on my place here, them build up 2 systems up here, where we get one in the camps here, go back to Guavarage, one go back to Blacksburg, from Mr. Ebert Isaac Green glasses. No more water, no go through that and everything run come down back in the Cane River, you know, 'cause nobody don't want to go over through the forest, go look out the line and get up the thing, 'cause it means in our work right, you know. And then if them don't want to eat, them could have get some cup of fire and dam the water and push it into the moon reservoir and pep up the system, you know, 'cause them don't do nothing pertaining to the moon reservoir. Now, this is even before me born, man, 'cause it's before me born. I'm a big 70-odd-year-old man, and the amount of house, man, if you know, uptown, the whole of them places when I tell you about bush, even legally, you know, when nothing is illegal and all the stuff in the bush, where Lane Plaza, there bush, and them don't build up nothing to the water, so they must have problems. The next quick thing in them, Malcolm, the coffee business, you know, the man them a kill out the coffee man, because low payment killing out the coffee, you know. Yeah. You hear me, Mr. Malcolm?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, man, the coffee business now. I'm not talking politics. 2014, 2015 crop, we had a $12,000-$14 back. 2016 back, 2015, 16. Mr. Leaching fine plate and come up here and dress you up and church of God as the first born in France. Because you know, go church, you know, but you say, I come in, go to church, when you go people gather with that in a Christ come. That's in the good speech and thing, and so the plant, the capital, can send the children and grandchildren them to university. We get in 12,000. The next year, 2016, 17, it dropped right down back to $3,000 from $12,000. And up to now, from them time, they have a furniture from $6,000 to $10,000. Meanwhile, when you get $12,000 for a box of coffee, you could have get 3 bags at the day with fertilizer and still have change, right? Never paid $4,000. And now the same bag of fertilizer is 18. Drop the price from $12,000 to 3. The second minister with the money brain. I don't know what him do with the Ladies Bank, TC Bank. The team, after I run Norman Grand, run it through over 30 years, Mr. Shaw in his ruling it towards them. So they don't have no coffee to sell. And if they want to get there, go back in Ladies Bank, TC Bank, and ask Mr. Grant and team like I run on time, Michael Reed, Noel Small, Mr. Fox, Mr. Morris, get to work local, he was the general manager for the Ladies Bank, TC Bank, man. The man them take carelessness and mash up the categories where them could have, right now, the last time, Mr. Edbart let the car and meet my party at the University of Technology. When he called the meeting, he never really come to discuss price, but he come like seeking market and the and was a group of ladies that even the coffee trash, the waste of the coffee, the ladies them find you see that they make all soap and different things with it, man. So, well, you can make a pound of coffee for less than $5,000. 5 years is party. So when a man look at him, he give you 75%, so you have to have 10,000. No, whereas we get 17,000 up to 20,000, that's a business can come back. Somebody come.
Yes.
Teacher, sir, Garfield, so was enjoy the evening and thanks, Raven, sir.
All right, thanks for the call. Take care.
Gracias to your boy, Sir Garfield, so was I tell you. Good evening, sir.
Have a good evening too. Take care. Derek Morgan says, my thoughts time and again, we are heartbroken by the news of another senseless shooting. Part of our healing must be the conviction that we will do everything in our power to keep these tragedies from happening in our country that continues to face a pandemic of gun violence. One moment, please.
Back to school again.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
All you'll ever need to know about agriculture in the 21st century, packed into one program. Farm Talk with Althea McKenzie. Farm Talk, showcasing cutting-edge agricultural products, services, and practices. Farm Talk, keeping focus on issues affecting the farming community. Farm Talk, stimulating discourse to propel agriculture as a national tool for development. Farm Talk with Althea McKenzie, the farmer's best friend.
When I listen to you in the mornings and the way you interview the people so that us as farmers can really understand, you break it down. It's really powerful.
Wake up to Farm Talk, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
The Auto World.
It's the only program on Jamaican radio dedicated to the world of automobile. It's the Auto World with Shelly Ann McLagan. Get news and reviews relating to vehicles and automotive technology. Learn the ins and outs of mechanical operation. Find out about the various stakeholders in the local and international automotive sectors. From auto finance to road safety to motorcycles, the Auto World is your one-stop shop for everything auto. That's the Auto World with Shelly Ann McLagan. Weekdays at 5:15 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
¿Qué hora es en espagnol? Son las 5:13. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:13. 现在几点了？5点差13分. 13 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Back to the messages quickly. It's not only the high-profile murders that we must work to prevent, but also the daily death by guns that claim so many lives every year. Oliver Masters says about Rasta Michael of the cool Blue Mountains is persistent and consistent and also very respectful to others every time. From Farm Talk with the beautiful Althea, says Oliver. I'm sure Althea would appreciate your kind sentiments, Oliver. Thank you. And let's go to the phone lines again. 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
This sounds like Olivia. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I am doing well, thanks. And what is on your mind this afternoon? Why you've decided to call us?
Well, my school opened back today.
Oh, and how was it?
It was nice. It was just registration,
Mm-hmm.
but I got to they just talked to us and prepared us for what's going to come.
Mm-hmm. So what's going to come?
So we have for the rest of the week, it's not like normal school, but we have a diagnostic testing quotations to prepare us and see what we remember.
Oh, that is critical, a diagnostic test. That is key. So at least the educators, the teachers will have an idea of whether they need to start from the very beginning, so to speak, just as an example, or they need to pick up at chapter 2 versus chapter 3, etc.
Yeah, exactly. So like tomorrow is, and we also have reading lessons every morning.
Oh, that's a good thing.
So it's going to go like devotion, then reading, and then we do the diagnostic test. We break for lunch, and then we are dismissed.
Right. So it looks like they're being the teachers are being very clinical in their approach, considering the shortcomings in the education system. This is very encouraging news you're sharing with us, Olivia.
I agree. Thank you very much.
Yes. So how does it feel to be back at school? Although school is not fully back because of orientation and other matters that have to be taken care of first. But I get the impression you are eager and ready to go.
Yes, I would say so myself. But this morning when I went to school, it was like, I don't know what it was, but I had this feeling, and like it didn't feel normal.
Oh.
Like it was weird to be back in the environment because I got so used to my house and my yard over the summer.
Look at that. That's quite something. So it was a different feeling this morning.
Yeah, it was like deja vu or something.
Yes. I see.
It's nice to be back in school.
I'm sure it is.
Like I get to do work, and I get to and I actually have a new teacher this term, so she's new to the school a little.
So that's the teacher in charge of your class?
Yes, she is.
Oh, okay.
So I'm getting to know her more, and I also have some new classmates, so I'm getting to know them more too, and make some friends.
Oh, lovely. Very nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your first day at school with us for this new academic term, 2023-2024. We trust that you will continue to excel and to do the best that you can.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much for the call. Really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Same to you and the family. All the best.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Take care. Olivia giving us an update on her first day back at school. Very good. And to all the others, just a gentle reminder to parents and guardians, an umbrella or a raincoat is still needed, still necessary, especially, well, we don't know how much rain we're likely to get, for example, in the month of October or the rest of September. But it's useful to ensure that there's an umbrella or a raincoat for the child or for the student. How about that? We don't have them getting doused or soaked in the rain, and then the books become damaged and other learning materials, etc. In fact, the bag, I would hope that most of the school bags that are being sold are the ones that are insulated, that can prevent water from, there's some kind of a protective lining within the bag that would limit any breach with respect to water and other sources. All right, let's continue. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. That person got tired of holding. Hello?
Mr. Malcolm?
Oh, Mr. Coombs, good afternoon.
Yeah, I can't go two things. I can't go one thing, but listening to Michael, the gentleman who copied it, I can't silently with him. Mr. Malcolm, I want to just inform that dear man, and you Mr. Grant, I'll tell Miss Mackenzie that the copy coming in now, and then we know what about these people, man, I'm a big touch them. When you pick up Mr. Mackenzie, Mr. Malcolm, when the people then pick your cap, you have to feel them same time. Me have friend when you say it. So Michael, Mr. Rivuno. Anyway, the reason why I call, I hear Mr. Carter, he's a dedicated man. He know nothing. Yes, I agree. But what him say while I was what reading, what politicians, that the people them food up themselves and run back a politician and Mr. Dervan Malcolm, listen me. 1973 ending of the year, when 74 you would have the local government election, when Sister P first the election, Mr. David Cole come and
First entered politics.
Politics, yeah. Mr. David Cole come and Washington City. And Mr. Bobby Edwards, he was a constable down there. The minister of campaign, and Mr. Cole tell me from the veranda, so as soon as we win, as soon as Mr. Bobby win, the PNP and the council, no, the PNP and the council will be one, like why the man PNP or good. You want me to get here, Washington City, by Mr. Cole, we say, it's as soon as the council will want me to get here, by Mr. Excuse me, I'm going to house, Mr. Dervan come me take it. Mr. Coach, me take it. You find the ball because I will buy 1966. Right? When me don't pay fee, you find when my discharge. When me get the take. So, and the politicians, the people in my road, Mr. Dervan coming towards me, I vote for me ban. One PNP, one come me yard, and one me just come and live. Somebody introduce him to my wife. And me have the key in my back pocket. Mr. Malcolm, me say my wife, Mr. Gilly, pass the key, so and so is here. And Mr. Rivia, me have the key, me not, he say you have your pocket, me not my pocket, me turn him out. Me not turn in back pocket. And me say, you say, okay, next time, okay. Me not let him in, Mr. Malcolm. Me not let him. All right, in closing, me one politician right up there, star. Same place on my car talk about there. When they call it Airbnb, when tourists come and go up there, what do you mean for it?
Yes, Airbnb.
Yeah. She's going to do the people. They fix it house on the road, nothing in the water there. Michael, bent the case here, Michael, you listen to them, big up Michael. Somewhere come to face me.
Thanks for the call. Take care.
Rubbish in my talk.
All right. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM. On this Tuesday, the 5th of September, 2023. The moving finger writes, and having writ, moves on. Nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, both sides of the story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
Two ones are two, two twos are four, two threes are six, two fours are eight, two fives are 10. Ding-a-ling-a-ling, school bell rings, back to school again. So much to play and holiday. Now you just do what your teacher say. Gotta read and write and check it down. For you to be a star, to be able to have a bank account to buy mom and dad a big Porsche car. King is in his counting, and he's counting out his money. They're eating bread and honey. Had a farm and it's E-I-E-I-O. And if he was taller as his mule, he would send his kids to school. So make hay while the sunshine, take something for a rainy day. Pick up your bag with your book and pen, for it's back to school again. So run, free paper bun, cause it's back to school again. So re mi fa sol la di do, tic-tac-toe, it's all in a row. Mean and mine and more. There's a lesson on the radio. Hide some fake ones to together, but on a fake side.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
Bye.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible. Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's News at 5.